Hi, Judy. I just wanted to speak to you a little bit tonight about your chart, all right, so that you have some understanding of where I'm coming from. Now, this is the Vedic chart, all right. Vedic astrology is different from Western astrology in that we take into account the precession of the equinoxes. So, what we're actually measuring is the actual sidereal position of the planets, all right? And if you want to convert the sidereal or the Vedic astrology to the Western system, then what you will do is you'll just simply add this Ayanamsa, all right? In your case, it's 23 degrees and 20 minutes. All right, let's take one example here. Now, your moon is at 1 degree and 56 minutes Scorpio. All right. If we add the Ayanamsa, it comes out to be roughly 25 degrees Scorpio. So it's still in Scorpio. All right. Okay, now let's talk about your chart. Your rising sign is Leo. That gives you a lot of managerial abilities, leadership abilities. All right, and you do have Jupiter directly opposite, which gives you a lot of wisdom. Mars is in a very strong position here. It's in a friend's house, okay, conjunct with Mercury. That will give you a great deal of ability to be very diplomatic, have a lot of strong managerial abilities, okay. Now, Saturn and Ketu together, Ketu acts like Mars. It is the south node. This is the northern node. This is the southern node. Now, these two planets together are throwing their combined aspect on the Sun and Venus. All right, this most likely is what caused the problems with your reproductive system. Venus, of course, does indicate a reproductive health. Whatever Saturn and K2 aspect of these planets, there indicates some trauma there. All right, some kind of trauma. All right, we could look at what we call your 12th divisional chart or the Dwada Samsa chart to see more clearly any problems that you may be having with regard to your health. Now, Sun and Saturn together will always indicate one of two things: either a chronic health problem or a very, very harsh relationship with your father. All right, one of those two things. All right, let's go back to your chart and we'll see. Now, this is something I wanted to speak to you about. This is what we call the Vimshatari Dasa. And it tells us what periods that you're actually progressing through at this point in your life. All right, what you're going through. Each at the time of your birth, you start on a particular sequence during which each planet has more or less supervision over your life. All right. Now, in your case, okay, you're 46 years old. You just went into a Venus period in November. All right. Now, Venus is exalted in your chart. Okay, it's in a very, very strong position here in Pisces. It's exalted. It is also the ruler of your 10th house. 10th house and the ruler of your 3rd house. All right, 3rd house is the house of talents, and the 10th house is the house of career. Now, because Venus is in your 8th house and exalted, it also would indicate there will be a great deal of good luck from secret people, from secret associations that may have to do with sexuality. All right? Okay. Now let's take a quick look at Kevin's chart here. Okay, this is Kevin's chart here. He's a year older than you. Okay. Now, his moon is over here in Leo. Remember, your rising sign is Leo. His moon is in Leo at 28 degrees and 28 minutes. Okay, let's take a look at another point that I like to discuss just a little bit, and that has to do with something called a pada duty. All right, within Vedic astrology, the 360 degrees is divided into 28 nakshatras, and each of those nakshatras has 4 padas. All right. Now, if we look at the actual padas, all right. Now, in his case, well, let's look at your case first. Your moon is at 1 degree, 56 minutes. All right, Scorpio. Now that indicates that you're very eloquent, with noble thoughts, wise, artistic, lucky, and that you do good deeds. All right. Let's look at Kevin's chart. All right, and his moon is at 28 degrees. 28 degrees, Leo. All right, so that indicates that he's very wealthy, famous, brave, prosperous household, and doer of good deeds. All right. Okay. So this is Kevin's chart. Okay. Now you'll see that his moon is in his 12th house. 12th house. All right. Along with Mars and Rahu. Okay, so that may indicate a certain amount of ability, a certain amount of ability to have his own business. Okay, the strength to follow through and carry out his own business, start his business, maintain it, and keep it going. Okay, now. However, it does have moon in his 12th house, so that may indicate some sadness with regards to his mother. All right. Now, his rising sign is Virgo. Okay. And let's go over to his, what we call his Vimsatari Dasa. All right, the Vimsatari Dasa. He is presently in a Jupiter period. Now, Jupiter period is a 16-year period. 16-year period. Jupiter is an indicator for wisdom for children, and in this case, Jupiter, he has Jupiter retrograde, but it's also fallen. Okay, and it is in his 5th house. It's in his 5th house. All right, so that may indicate that during this period, there will be a lot of activity that has to do with his past life, with destiny, and also with children. Okay. All right. Now he is a very he looks like a very balanced person. If you'll notice that he does have all of the planets are pretty well distributed. All right. And it definitely indicates here that he's a very strong communicator. Sun and Mercury together. Mercury is in his own house in Gemini. All right. And again, Mars and Mercury and the moon together here, indicating a very psychic type of personality. Okay. Let's take a look at his 12th divisional chart that I was telling you before about a person's health. He does have Saturn aspecting Venus. All right. Venus is also an indicator of glandular issues as well. So that may be the reason for his diabetes one. All right. So these are some of the things I wanted to point out to you, Judy. And if you have any questions, Okay? Just drop me an email and I will be speaking to you again. Okay? Good night now.